F-14 Tomcat versus Soviet-built jets. Two famous strategies for achieving air superiority during the Cold War include the F-14 Tomcat and Soviet-built aircraft like the MiG-29 and Su-27. While Soviet fighters prioritized agility and close combat skills, the U.S. Navy's F-14 was built for adaptability and long-range interception. In the context of aerial combat, this comparative study examines 7 significant features of these aircraft, emphasizing their advantages, disadvantages, and operational histories. Number 7. Design purpose. In response to the changing dangers posed by Soviet bombers and planes during the Cold War, the F-14 Tomcat was developed in the late 1960s. The primary purpose of its design was to serve as a multi-purpose air superiority fighter and a fleet defense interceptor that could engage enemy aircraft at great range. Because the F-14 had to defend naval troops from aerial threats far from land bases, its ability to operate from aircraft carriers was essential. A powerful engine that enabled high speeds and agility, variable sweep wings, and sophisticated avionics all contributed to this dual-purpose capability. Additionally, the F-14 had advanced radar systems that allowed it to track several targets at once, which made it especially useful in fleet defense situations. Soviet-made aircraft, such as the MiG-29 Fulcrum and Su-27 Flanker, on the other hand, were created with an emphasis on ground attack capabilities and air superiority. The creation of extremely agile aircraft that could perform well in combat scenarios where agility and response were critical was facilitated by the Soviet military doctrine, which placed a strong emphasis on close-range dogfighting. Reflecting the Soviet Union's strategic aims during the Cold War, these jets were designed to oppose Western air power. Number 6. Wing configuration. Because of its special variable sweep wing design, the F-14 Tomcat can modify its wings in flight based on the mission profile. The airplane can maximize its aerodynamic performance at a variety of speeds because, to this capability, the wings can be extended for better aerodynamic efficiency at higher speeds or swept back for lift and stability at lower speeds, such as during takeoff and landing. For carrier operations where conditions can fluctuate greatly, this adaptability is very beneficial. Because of its design, the F-14 can efficiently perform low-speed maneuvers as well as high-speed intercepts, making it a dangerous opponent in a variety of combat situations. Soviet aircraft, like as the MiG-29 and Su-27 in contrast, have fixed wings that are intended to provide the greatest amount of maneuverability and performance in dogfighting scenarios. These aircraft's high aspect ratios and sophisticated aerodynamic profiles improve their capacity for quick direction changes and tight twists, which are essential skills in close-quarters combat where pilots must outmaneuver their adversaries. Number 5. Speed and range. With a top speed of Mach 2.34, the F-14 Tomcat is well known for its ability to efficiently intercept swiftly moving adversaries. Moreover, the F-14's operational range is impressive. With external fuel tanks, it can reach a combat radius of about 2,300 miles, which allows it to operate far from its carrier group and intercept enemy aircraft before they can threaten. In marine operations, where dangers may arise from considerable distances across open ocean, this expanded range is especially useful. The efficacy of the F-14 as a fleet defense fighter is increased by its capacity to conduct long-range missions without requiring regular refueling. On the other hand, the Su-27 can reach Mach 2.35, whilst Soviet-built aircraft such as the MiG-29 can only reach Mach 2.25. The usefulness of these aircraft in prolonged operations without aerial refueling support, however, may be limited by their generally lesser operational ranges of 1,500 miles. Although high-speed intercepts can be made by either kind of aircraft, the F-14 has a tactical edge in maritime operations due to its longer range. Number 4. Armament. One of the most important aspects of the F-14 Tomcat is its armament, especially the fact that it can carry up to 6 AIM-54 Phoenix missiles in addition to other weapons like AIM-7 Sparrow and AIM-9 Sidewinder missiles. The F-14 is an extremely dangerous opponent in air-to-air combat situations because of the Phoenix missile system, which enables long-range engagements against numerous targets at once. The F-14's sophisticated radar sensors, which can detect several targets simultaneously, improve this capability by enabling pilots to engage threats before they are within range of their own weaponry. To further increase its adaptability on the battlefield, the F-14 can also carry precision-guided missiles for ground assault missions. On the other hand, Soviet aircraft such as the MiG-29 and Su-27 are outfitted with a wide variety of missiles designed for different types of battle. The MiG-29 is equipped with long-range missiles such as the R-77 for engagements beyond visual range, and short-range missiles like the R-73 for dogfighting scenarios. The Su-27 can efficiently engage a variety of targets thanks to its powerful ordnance, which includes both air-to-air and air-to-ground missiles. Number 3. Radar systems. These aircraft's overall mission capabilities and combat efficiency are greatly influenced by the radar systems they use. The cutting-edge AWG-9 radar installed aboard the F-14 Tomcat offers long-range target detection and tracking capabilities that are crucial for interacting with enemy aircraft before they endanger friendly forces. In aerial combat situations where prompt decision-making is essential, this radar system gives pilots the ability to use the Phoenix missile efficiently while simultaneously retaining situational awareness of multiple targets. Fleet defense operations are greatly improved by the AWG-9's capacity to track numerous targets simultaneously, which allows for coordinated assaults against various threats. On the other hand, Soviet aircraft such as the MiG-29 are equipped with the N-019 Rubin radar, which is designed to acquire targets efficiently at short ranges but does not have all of the long-range capabilities of Western systems. In contrast, the Su-27 has more sophisticated radar systems, like the Zuk-ME radar, which provide better target detection capabilities than previous versions, but still emphasizing distinct tactical methods from those found in Western radars. Number 2. Stealth capabilities. Compared to modern fighters, the F-14 Tomcat has few stealth features. Its bigger radar cross-section makes it easier for adversary radar systems to identify it than more recent stealth designs. Although it was constructed prior to the widespread adoption of stealth technology in military aviation design, its operational efficacy was mostly dependent on maneuverability, speed, and sophisticated avionics rather than low observability traits. This indicates that although it could successfully engage opposing aircraft with its speed and weaponry, it lacked some advantages found in more recent stealth fighters that put avoidance above combat tactics. However, later models like the Su-57, which use materials that absorb radar waves better and shaping techniques to reduce radar visibility, have improved upon Soviet-built jets' historically limited stealth capabilities. These improvements are in contrast to earlier models like the MiG or Su series fighters. Number 1. Historical impact. It is impossible to overestimate the historical significance of the F-14 Tomcat. From its introduction in 1974 until its retirement in 2006, it played a crucial role in U.S. naval aviation during decades of service in a variety of conflicts, including operations during Desert Storm and post-Cold War engagements around the world. In the end, the F-14 Tomcat and Soviet-built jets like the MiG-29 and Su-27 represent two distinct philosophies in fighter aircraft design and military strategy. The F-14, with its variable sweep wings and long-range capabilities, was a cornerstone of U.S. naval aviation, excelling in fleet defense and air superiority roles. Thanks for watching our video, and don't forget to subscribe. The shocking mid-air collision. that changed aviation history. The history of aviation has been significantly impacted by mid-air collisions, which have led to important modifications in safety procedures and laws. These terrible incidents, which frequently result in a large death toll, have brought attention to the weaknesses in communication and air traffic control systems. Every incident, from the devastating Grand Canyon crash in 1956 to the Tenerife airport tragedy, acted as a spur for change and ultimately shaped the contemporary aviation environment that exists today. Here are 7 key points that illustrate the shocking nature and consequences of these pivotal events in aviation history. Number 7. Date and location. On June 30th, 1956, a devastating mid-air collision took place over the Grand Canyon, one of the most famous natural wonders in the United States and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Colorado River sculpted this enormous canyon, which is over 277 miles long and descends more than a mile below the surface. In addition to being a well-liked tourist destination at the time of the tragedy, the Grand Canyon was also an important air traffic route for commercial airlines that operated transcontinental trips. The majority of the airspace above the canyon was uncontrolled, which means that no active air traffic control services were in place to regulate aircraft movements there. Pilots had to negotiate crowded flight paths without help in this complicated environment due to a lack of oversight. In an era when air travel was quickly expanding but safety procedures had not yet changed to meet the increased needs, the tragic intersection of United Airlines Flight 718 and Trans World Airlines Flight 2 in this uncontrolled airspace highlights the difficulties faced by aviators. Number 6. Aircraft involved. A United Airlines Douglas DC-7 and a Trans World Airlines Lockheed L-1049 Super Constellation, 2 aircraft representative of commercial aviation in the middle of the 20th century, were involved in this terrible incident. One of the fastest piston-engine airliners of its era, the Douglas DC-7 was first introduced in 1953 and was renowned for its ability to travel great distances at high speeds of up to 350 knots. It had sophisticated aerodynamics for better performance and fuel economy, and it could carry up to 100 passengers. On the other hand, the Lockheed L-1049 Super Constellation was praised for its creative design, which included a unique triple tail arrangement that improved flying stability. It was a favorite among airlines for transcontinental flights since it could accommodate about 70 passengers in an opulent cabin. TWA Flight 2 was traveling to Kansas City, and United Airlines Flight 718 was traveling to Chicago. Both aircraft were operating at cruising altitudes common for long-haul flights. The operational difficulties that airlines encountered at this time are exemplified by the pairing of these 2 potent aircraft operating concurrently in the same airspace. Number 5. Collision details. Both airplanes were traveling at about 21,000 feet above sea level when they collided shortly after takeoff. Around 10:30 a.m., TWA Flight 2's Constellation's vertical stabilizer was impacted by the left wing of United Airlines Flight 718 while it was making a right turn per its flight plan. TWA Flight 2 lost control instantly as a result of this devastating accident, and its tail portion broke off entirely. As both planes broke apart in midair, witnesses on the ground saw debris raining down from the sky. Others said they heard a huge explosion, followed by a cloud of smoke and wreckage that fell into the canyon below. While TWA's Constellation crashed straight into the canyon at an estimated speed of over 700 feet per second, causing complete destruction upon contact, the United DC-7 was able to stay in the air for a brief period of time before colliding with the canyon floor. According to the aftermath, all 128 people on board both planes' passengers and crew were killed in this terrible tragedy, which at the time was one of the deadliest aviation catastrophes in history. The nation was shocked by the catastrophe, which brought up serious concerns about airline safety procedures. Number 4. Lack of air traffic control. In many places, especially over isolated areas like the Grand Canyon, air traffic control systems were severely antiquated at the time of the incident and lacked contemporary equipment like radar coverage. Because the area where this accident happened was designated as uncontrolled airspace, pilots had to keep a visual distance from other aircraft on their own without the aid of ground-based radar systems or air traffic controllers. Pilots had to rely on their own visual observations to avoid other planes while navigating intricate flight paths that frequently crossed over one another at similar altitudes, creating a disaster-prone environment. Unfortunately, because of their different heights and flight paths colliding without any prior notice or communication from air traffic control, the two flight crews were unable to see one another until it was too late. This tragedy made clear the serious flaws in safety procedures and the urgent need for better air traffic control systems in order to stop tragedies like this one in the future. Number 3. Immediate consequences. Both the aviation industry and society at large experienced shockwaves in the immediate aftermath of the Grand Canyon mid-air crash. As the first commercial aircraft catastrophe to claim over 100 lives, it was a somber milestone that sparked widespread media attention and public indignation over airline safety procedures. Victims' families were crushed by their losses, and many of them wanted to know how a tragedy like this could happen in what was meant to be a safe form of transportation. The event exposed serious flaws in the safety procedures already in place in commercial aviation operations and spurred demands for responsibility from both airlines and regulatory agencies. The public's attitude drastically changed, emphasizing that passenger safety must come first and calling for stronger safety regulations and improved training for both pilots and air traffic controllers. In the end, this uproar resulted in major modifications to the legal frameworks controlling commercial flying. Number 2. Regulatory changes. Significant legislative changes were implemented in the aviation sector in response to this terrible incident with the goal of raising safety standards and advancing air traffic control procedures nationwide. The Federal Aviation Administration, which was established in 1958 with the goal of modernizing air traffic control systems across the country while guaranteeing adherence to safety requirements established by Congress, was one of the most noteworthy results. In order to improve situational awareness for air traffic controllers overseeing crowded skies full of commercial flights, the FAA concentrated on deploying cutting-edge radar technology that enabled real-time tracking of aircraft positions and movements. New rules pertaining to flight separation procedures were also passed. Airlines were now expected to follow more stringent rules on altitude assignments and the distances between aircraft when flying. These modifications addressed significant deficiencies found during investigations into prior incidents and marked a fundamental shift towards emphasizing safety in commercial flight. Number 1. Lasting impact. Beyond its immediate aftermath, the Grand Canyon mid-air crash left a lasting legacy that changed aviation safety standards globally and established new criteria for regulatory control in the commercial aviation industry. The event led to important developments in radar and communication systems that are now commonplace in air traffic control operations worldwide. These developments have greatly enhanced situational awareness for both pilots and controllers and decreased the risks associated with congested skies full of commercial aircraft operating at different altitudes at the same time. Improved training programs for pilots and air traffic controllers became essential to maintaining safety in today's congested skies. These programs concentrated on risk management techniques and emergency response plans created especially for high-stress scenarios that arise during flight operations or possible crises that arise while traveling or landing at airports in various parts of the world. The commercial airline industry is now much safer than it was in 1956, thanks to these reforms and continuous assessments aimed at enhancing aviation regulations. Millions of people travel by air every year, and the public's trust in airline safety measures is increased at all stages of their journeys. These changes have made commercial aviation safer than it has ever been, demonstrating a dedication to putting passenger safety first and averting future tragedies of this nature. If you liked our video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The world is shocked. First air battle of US's most powerful MiG-29M and F-16. The recent air fight between the Russian MiG-29M and the American F-16 Fighting Falcon has drawn international notice and is considered a turning point in contemporary military aviation. In addition to showcasing the legendary multi-role fighter's cutting-edge capabilities, this historic conflict poses significant queries regarding air combat strategies and the direction of aerial warfare. This battle is a crucial point of reference for military planners around the world as countries strive to develop their air forces. Number 7. Aircraft Overview. Since its debut in the late 1970s, the F-16 Fighting Falcon, a single-engine multi-role fighter aircraft created by General Dynamics, has been a vital part of American air power. It was once created as a lightweight air superiority fighter, but throughout the years, it has undergone significant change to support a variety of combat tasks, such as electronic warfare, reconnaissance, and ground attack. The F-16 is distinguished by its unique aerodynamic design, which incorporates a side-mounted control stick that improves maneuverability during combat and a frameless bubble canopy that offers pilots exceptional vision. Pilots can execute intricate maneuvers with accuracy thanks to its fly-by-wire control technology, which offers sophisticated flight characteristics. The F-16 can carry a wide variety of armaments, including precision-guided bombs and air-to-air missiles like the AIM-9 Sidewinder and AIM-120 AMRAAM. Its operational range is roughly 2,280 kilometers, and its top speed exceeds Mach 2.0. On the other hand, the MiG-29 Fulcrum is a twin-engine air superiority fighter that was originally put into service in the early 1980s and was created by Mikoyan Gurevich in the Soviet Union. The MiG-29, renowned for its remarkable agility and low-altitude capabilities, was created especially to confront Western fighters. Thrust vectoring capabilities in its design improve its mobility and enable it to make sharp turns and quick direction changes, which are very useful in dogfighting situations. The MiG-29 is a dangerous opponent in aerial combat because of its sophisticated avionics and weaponry, which include short-range missiles like the R-73 and R-77. Number 6. Engagement context. The F-16 and MiG-29M recently engaged in a simulated battle as part of a wider training exercise aimed at evaluating both aircraft's operational efficacy in authentic combat scenarios. Because they give pilots the chance to practice their skills against various aircraft types and tactics in controlled settings, these exercises are essential for preserving military readiness. Pilots were able to assess not only the capabilities of their aircraft, but also their own tactical decision-making abilities in real-time situations through a variety of scenarios, such as head-to-head dogfights, simulated ground attack missions, and BVR engagements. The purpose of the training was to simulate possible real-world battles in which the two aircraft would come into contact with one another. Pilots can discover their tactics' advantages and disadvantages and create tactics that they can use in real-world combat situations by participating in these scenarios. Additionally, by fostering interoperability among partner forces, these exercises improve collective defense capabilities in the event of a conflict and guarantee that pilots are adequately equipped to handle the intricacies of contemporary warfare. Number 5. Maneuverability. One of the most important elements affecting success in aerial combat is maneuverability, and the MiG-29 and F-16 both have unique traits that impact how well they perform in dogfighting situations. Because of its high thrust-to-weight ratio, The MiG-29 is known for its remarkable low-speed mobility. This allows it to execute intricate maneuvers like the Cobra maneuver or Pugachev's Cobra, which allows the aircraft to tilt up sharply while maintaining altitude. The MiG-29 can swiftly change course without losing much speed or altitude because to this capability, which can surprise adversaries. Furthermore, the MiG's design includes huge control surfaces and state-of-the-art slats that improve its agility at slower speeds, making it especially useful in close-quarter situations when quick reactions are crucial. On the other hand, even while the F-16 is renowned for its agility, its greater energy retention during prolonged maneuvers and aerodynamic efficiency allow it to perform at higher speeds. Because of its design, the F-16 can accelerate quickly and make sharp maneuvers, outpacing opponents in prolonged combat. The F-16 can use its speed advantage to dictate engagement distances and maintain control of the engagement, while the MiG-29 may dominate in close quarters due to its agile performance. This difference in maneuverability demonstrates how each aircraft's design philosophy dictates tactics used during combat. Number 4. Combat tactics. The different operational theories that underlie the design of each aircraft and its intended function within their separate air forces are reflected in the tactics used by pilots during the mock fight. F-16 pilots frequently employ cutting-edge combat strategies that capitalize on the adaptability and technological superiority of their aircraft. In order to engage adversaries from a distance before engaging in close-quarters battle, these strategies usually entail the use of BVR engagements with advanced radar systems that can track numerous targets at once while staying out of enemy missile range. Furthermore, F-16 are outfitted with precision-guided weapons like GPS-guided munitions and laser-guided bombs, which increase their efficacy against ground targets while preserving their air superiority against enemy fighters. MiG-29 pilots, on the other hand, usually concentrate on fast interception strategies intended for close-quarters battles where their aircraft's agility may be fully exploited. Number 3. Technological advancements. The efficiency of an aircraft in contemporary combat situations is greatly influenced by technological developments, which have an impact on everything from avionics systems to weapons capacities. Since its first deployment in the late 1970s, the F-16 has been continuously upgraded, incorporating state-of-the-art technologies like sophisticated radar systems, such as AESA, active electronically scanned array radars, which enhance situational awareness by enabling high-resolution tracking of multiple targets simultaneously across a variety of ranges. Advanced electronic warfare technologies installed on contemporary F-16 models improve survivability by blocking enemy radar or deceiving approaching missiles with countermeasures like flares or chaff dispensers. Additionally, improvements in weapons have made it possible for F-16s to carry sophisticated ordnance like precision-guided bombs, which can hit ground targets accurately from a considerable distance. Number 2. Performance assessment. Future training plans for pilots on both platforms participating in this engagement scenario will be informed by the performance evaluation carried out during this simulated conflict, which gave important insights into how each aircraft functions under different combat scenarios. Pilots observed that although the MiG-29's remarkable agility during low-speed engagements allowed it to outmaneuver opponents in tight turns, the F-16's superior thrust-to-weight ratio and advanced aerodynamic features built for energy retention during sustained maneuvers over extended periods without significantly sacrificing speed or altitude during engagements involving multiple adversaries, simultaneously tracking them across varying altitudes, angles throughout different phases. During these exercises earlier this month alone, were the main reasons why the F-16 maintained an advantage during high-speed maneuvers. Number 1. Implications for modern warfare. The ramifications of this simulated battle go beyond simply assessing two fighter jets. They also point to more general patterns in contemporary warfare, where flexibility, technology integration, and ongoing training are all essential for success in the face of the constantly changing obstacles encountered in today's aerial combat environments. Traditional dogfighting skills must now be supplemented by an understanding of multi-domain operations involving land, sea, air, space, and cyber elements working together harmoniously towards achieving common objectives effectively. Understanding how various aircraft interact during engagements ultimately aids in the development of strategic planning within air forces around the world, guaranteeing that they are sufficiently equipped to handle any unforeseen conflict scenarios that call for prompt, decisive action. Maintaining air superiority and guaranteeing successful reactions to new threats in a battlefield that is becoming more dynamic require constant training and adaptation as military technology advances. Thanks for watching our video, and don't forget to subscribe. How a Nighthawk was shot down. On March 27, 1999, an F-117 Nighthawk stealth plane was shot down in a historic occurrence during the NATO bombing of Yugoslavia. This incident exposed flaws in cutting-edge military technology and strategies by being the first time a stealth aircraft was effectively targeted and destroyed in combat. The following points outline the key factors that led to this significant occurrence. Number 8. Countermeasures and intelligence. Serbian military worked hard to obtain intelligence on NATO's capabilities and operations patterns before the 1999 NATO bombing campaign. This involved keeping an eye on the time and frequency of airstrikes and being aware of the technology used by NATO aircraft. Serbian military strategists modified their strategies in reaction to this intelligence in order to counter NATO's sophisticated capabilities. They combined older radar systems, such as the P-18, which used lower frequencies that were harder for NATO's radar warning receivers to pick up. They were able to get ready for an encounter by using these systems to detect the F-117 at a range that worked for them. This proactive strategy showed how the benefits of cutting-edge stealth technology might be offset by efficient intelligence collection and flexible countermeasures. Number 7. Context of the incident. The Skunk Works branch of Lockheed Martin produced the groundbreaking F-117 Nighthawk, which represented a major breakthrough in military aviation technology in both design and capabilities. The first aircraft created especially for stealth operations, the Nighthawk was created during the Cold War and used a special angular shape and a combination of materials that absorb radar to reduce its radar cross-section. During the Gulf War in 1991, it made its operational debut by successfully executing undetected precision bombing missions. By 1999, when the Kosovo War broke out, NATO forces were fighting Serbian aggression against ethnic Albanians in Kosovo as part of Operation Allied Force. Serious humanitarian concerns and a complicated geopolitical environment were features of the conflict. The Nighthawk was sent in to strike vital Serbian military targets with precision while causing the fewest possible casualties among civilians. The aircraft's stealth characteristics were supposed to allow it to operate effectively in densely defended regions, providing NATO leaders with confidence in its ability to achieve tactical objectives while decreasing risks to pilots and ground personnel. Number 6. Mission details. On a pivotal mission on March 27, 1999, Lieutenant Column Dale Zelko piloted Vega 31 to a Serbian command center in Belgrade. The NATO air campaign was seriously threatened by this command center, which was essential to organizing Serbian military activities. Zelko's task was to fly at low altitudes in order to take use of the Nighthawk's stealth characteristics and evade hostile radar systems detection. He got ready for the bomb drop sequence, which needed exact timing and synchronization, when he arrived at the target at about 26,000 feet. Because the Nighthawk was armed with highly accurate laser-guided bombs, it could hit with little collateral damage. This operation was a component of NATO's larger plan to thwart Serbian military activities and aid ground forces fighting in Kosovo. Željko was able to concentrate on carrying out the mission effectively in spite of the risks because of his faith in the aircraft's cutting-edge technology and his substantial piloting training. Number 5. Loss of electronic warfare support. EA-6B Prowler aircraft first assisted Vega 31 as it reached its target area, providing crucial electronic warfare capabilities. These Prowlers had advanced jamming devices that were intended to interfere with adversary radar and communication networks. By disguising the aircraft's existence, these technologies greatly increased the safety of stealth missions. But as the weather worsened over Belgrade, with poor visibility from rain and clouds, the Prowlers were told to head back to base before Vega 31 could finish its mission. Due to this choice, Željko's aircraft was deprived of vital electronic defenses that might have prevented enemy discovery. In addition to making Vega 31 more vulnerable, the lack of this support exposed a serious operational planning flaw. Even sophisticated stealth equipment may be undermined by conventional radar systems in the absence of electronic warfare support. This incident demonstrated how crucial it is to combine different military capabilities, such electronic warfare platforms and stealth jets, into unified operating plans that optimize their efficacy while lowering risks. Number 4. Radar detection. Serb Colonel Zoltan Dani took the crucial step of turning on his S-125M NEVA radar system again after realizing that NATO's electronic countermeasures were no longer in place. As air operations over Serbia increased, it was decided that this medium-range surface-to-air missile system, which had previously been deactivated because of concerns about NATO's electronic warfare capabilities, was now essential for identifying potential threats. In order to get knowledge on NATO flight patterns and tactics, Dani's operators used both radar tracking and intelligence reports. For the first time since the war, Dani's radar operators were able to lock on to Vega 31 as it opened its bomb bay doors, a move that unintentionally boosted its radar cross-section. This event was a major turning point because it showed that when strategically employed in conjunction with human intelligence efforts, conventional radar systems could still successfully oppose cutting-edge stealth technologies. While stealth technology decreased radar visibility, it did not, in some circumstances, make an aircraft totally undetected, as demonstrated by the successful discovery of Vega 31. Number 3. Missile launch. Dani's radar successfully locked onto Vega 31 and his S-125 battery, which had been positioned strategically to protect against airborne threats, unleashed 2 V-601M missiles. With the S-125 NEVA system, which had proven successful against a range of aerial targets, it was possible to engage high-speed aircraft at medium altitudes. Željko's evasive maneuvers caused the first missile to miss its target, but the second missile's proximity fuse caused it to explode nearby, resulting in a huge explosion that severely destroyed Vega 31's left wing and fuselage. Ejecting was Željko's last choice after the accident caused catastrophic structural failures that caused him to lose control of the aircraft. This incident not only illustrated the effectiveness of conventional missile systems against state-of-the-art technology, but it also exposed the shortcomings of stealth operations when up against determined adversaries who employ conventional air defense strategies. Number 2. Ejection and rescue. Due to the catastrophic damage caused by the missile explosion, Lieutenant Column Željko ordered his ejection sequence from Vega 31 before it could fall into Serbian territory. Under extremely difficult conditions, this critical operation needed to be executed precisely on time. Successfully ejecting from an airplane involves overcoming several challenges, including high-altitude ejection dynamics and potential hazards from nearby explosion-generated debris or shock waves. Number 1. Impact on military strategy. Being the first time a stealth aircraft was shot down in combat, The downing of Vega 31 was a landmark event in military aviation history that had an impact on military circles all over the world. For upcoming missions involving comparable aircraft such as F-22s or B-2s, this incident spurred a thorough examination of operational security procedures and strategies using stealth technology inside NATO. Military strategists understood that although stealth capabilities offered significant benefits in terms of avoiding detection in the best-case scenario, they were not perfect, particularly when confronted with adversaries who successfully used conventional radar systems in conjunction with human intelligence efforts on ground movements or flight patterns detected by reconnaissance techniques like visual spotting or signals intelligence. By focusing on better coordination between air assets like fighter jets and support systems like electronic warfare platforms or reconnaissance drones that can collect real-time data about enemy positions, NATO reevaluated its strategy for missions involving stealth aircraft in the wake of this incident. If you liked our video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Why the Boeing 737 MAX has been such a mess? Following two terrible disasters and ensuing regulatory scrutiny, the Boeing 737 MAX has been at the center of a major aviation issue. Once hailed as a technological breakthrough, this aircraft model has encountered several difficulties that have damaged Boeing's brand and brought up important issues regarding aviation safety and supervision. Here are 7 key points that illustrate why the Boeing 737 MAX has become such a contentious issue in the aviation industry. Number 7. Design flaws. Larger leap. 1B engines were installed in the Boeing 737 MAX as a result of major design improvements brought about by the competitive need for more fuel-efficient aircraft. Comparing these engines to earlier 737 models, they were heavier and placed higher and farther forward on the wing. This change in aerodynamics and weight distribution caused the aircraft to have a propensity to tip up under specific flight conditions, particularly during takeoff and low-speed situations. Boeing developed the Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System to counteract this behavior. If the MKS sensed an impending stall, it would automatically lower the aircraft's pitch. However, there was a major single point of failure because this system only used data from one angle of attack sensor. MCAS might mistakenly force the nose down, resulting in a catastrophic loss of control if that sensor failed, as it did in both tragic crashes. Number 6. MCAS malfunctions. A major factor in the catastrophic disasters of Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 and Lion Air Flight 610 was the MKS system's faults. Despite pilots' efforts to restore control using typical recovery methods, MCAS aggressively engaged in both occasions due to incorrect readings from the AOA sensor, continually driving the aircraft's nose down. According to investigations, before pilots flew the MAX, they were not even aware that MCAS existed, let alone given proper training on how to operate it. Pilots frequently felt overwhelmed and perplexed when MCAS malfunctioned in an emergency, with no clear instructions on how to turn the system off or override it. Because pilot manuals lacked important information about MCAS, many pilots were unprepared for the possible failure modes of the system. In addition, Boeing's internal correspondence revealed that engineers had expressed concerns about MCAS before the crashes, but that these issues were not adequately conveyed or handled within the company. Significant flaws in Boeing's safety culture and crisis management procedures were also brought to light by this lack of openness and inaction on known problems, which directly contributed to the accidents. Number 5. Inadequate pilot training. One of the most obvious shortcomings in Boeing's safety strategy since the implementation of MCAS has been the inadequate training provided to pilots on the 737 MAX. Boeing initially promoted the MAX as being sufficiently similar to previous 737 models for pilots to be able to migrate with little further training, usually simply a computer-based training module instead of extensive simulator sessions. Given the complexity brought about by emerging systems like MCAS, this assumption turned out to be dangerously naive. Due to financial constraints and regulatory requirements, several airlines chose this simplified training method, which left pilots ill-prepared to handle MCAS activation crises. Pilots frequently found themselves without the information or abilities needed to react appropriately when MCAS failed in real-world scenarios. Number 4. Regulatory oversight failures. Due to its shortcomings and deficiencies, the regulatory oversight surrounding the Boeing 737 MAX's certification has drawn harsh criticism for allowing serious safety hazards to remain unchecked. Boeing was given significant ability to self-certify different parts of its aircraft design and safety systems through the Federal Aviation Administration's Organization Designation Authorization Certification Procedure. Due to Boeing's financial incentives to speed up certification procedures in the face of fierce market rivalry, this delegation inevitably produced conflicts of interest. Investigations showed that crucial MCAS safety assessments were not completed to a high enough standard. For example, possible dangers connected with relying solely on one sensor were not fully considered before commercial flights were approved. Furthermore, according to internal papers, Boeing's deadline demands put pressure on some FAA officials, making it more difficult for them to properly implement the agency's strict safety regulations. Since the MAX's grounding revealed serious shortcomings in regulatory procedures that put speed ahead of thorough safety analyses, lawmakers and industry experts have called for major changes to aviation regulatory frameworks, highlighting the need for increased autonomy and scrutiny in the certification procedures for aircraft. Number 3. Cultural and management issues. One of the main causes of the difficulties with the 737 MAX program has been found to be Boeing's company culture. There was a discernible change from an engineering-centric approach, where safety and quality were of utmost importance, to one that was increasingly motivated by commercial objectives and shareholder value after its 1997 merger with McDonnell Douglas. This shift in culture created an atmosphere where cost-cutting strategies frequently trumped strict safety regulations and engineering integrity. Internal emails disclosed incidents in which workers voiced safety concerns but felt under pressure to follow management instructions that put production schedules ahead of rigorous quality control procedures. According to reports, some engineers voiced concerns regarding MCAS, but they were deterred from raising these issues because they feared reprisals or being classified as obstructive. This culture of conformity rather than openness fostered an environment in which important safety issues might be disregarded or minimized, endangering passenger safety and undermining confidence among stakeholders in Boeing and the larger aviation industry. Number 2. Ongoing quality control problems. After the 737 MAX was grounded and its design defects were thoroughly investigated, Boeing has still struggled with quality control issues in its manufacturing operations. An Alaska Airlines 737 MAX had a noteworthy incident in January 2024 when a door plug failed in mid-air owing to missing bolts. This should have been easily avoided with appropriate quality assurance procedures in place. Federal authorities launched investigations into Boeing's supply chain management and manufacturing methods in response to this occurrence, which also brought regulators' attention back to the company. The FAA's subsequent audits found many examples of non-compliance with safety regulations on different production lines, from poor assembly procedures to insufficient pre-delivery inspections. These persistent quality control failures point to structural weaknesses in Boeing's operations that need to be addressed right away if the company hopes to win back the trust of both airlines and travelers. Since then, the corporation has promised large investments in enhancing manufacturing procedures. Nevertheless, given previous setbacks, doubts persist about its capacity to guarantee uniform quality across all aircraft models. Number 1. Reputation and recovery efforts. Boeing has devoted significant resources to recovery efforts in response to these numerous obstacles, which are intended to restore the company's reputation for safety and dependability in aviation manufacturing. This task has been made more challenging by regulatory oversight and public scrutiny in the wake of two tragic accidents. In order to improve supervision throughout its production processes and increase openness with stakeholders and regulators alike, the company has put new safety measures into place. Boeing has also spent billions to improve quality control procedures throughout its operations, from stronger auditing procedures meant to identify possible problems before they become crises to improved employee training programs centered on safety culture, true organizational culture change, and observable improvements in safety procedures in every aspect of the company's operations, not just cosmetic adjustments, but fundamental changes in Boeing's approach to engineering excellence. In the end, a mix of design faults, insufficient training, regulatory oversights, and culture concerns inside Boeing are the root causes of the problems surrounding the Boeing 737 MAX. Thanks for watching our video, and don't forget to subscribe. Top Gun Dark Star in real life. The Dark Star is a revolutionary fictional hypersonic aircraft that captivates the mind with its astounding speed and cutting-edge technology in Top Gun Maverick. Dark Star is a representation of the future of aviation, demonstrating the possibilities of hypersonic flight and drawing inspiration from actual experimental planes. Its depiction reflects continuous developments in aircraft engineering and the pursuit of faster-than-sound travel, even if it is still a work of creative filmmaking. Number 8. The engagement of Lockheed Martin. Filmmakers worked closely with Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works division during the creation of Top Gun Maverick, which helped bring Dark Star to life on screen. Because of this collaboration, Dark Star's features and design aspects were guaranteed to be both aesthetically pleasing and based on believable technological developments that mirrored the most recent developments in aerospace research. Through the incorporation of perspectives from top aerospace engineers into its development, Dark Star functions as both a fun part of the movie's plot and a symbol of Lockheed Martin's dedication to pushing technological limits in the aviation industry, demonstrating their proficiency in creating next-generation aircraft that can satisfy demands in the future. Number 7. Fictional representation. A key fictional component of Top Gun, Maverick. The SR-72 Dark Star is intended to represent the state-of-the-art developments in military aviation technology. The Dark Star, a hypersonic aircraft with features that are both aesthetically pleasing and technologically ambitious, represents the pinnacle of aerial warfare capability. The Dark Star serves as a symbol of innovation and the unrelenting quest for supremacy in military aviation, in addition to being an exciting story device in the movie. Its depiction poses important queries regarding the nature of war in the future, especially in light of the moral ramifications of cutting-edge technologies and their capacity to alter the dynamics of global conflicts. Top Gun Maverick challenges viewers to consider how to strike a balance between advancements in technology and the ethical obligations that come with them by showcasing such a sophisticated aircraft. By combining amusement with provocative commentary on the future of defense and combat, this narrative decision engages viewers on several levels. Number 6. Inspiration from the SR-71. The SR-71 Blackbird, one of the most recognizable reconnaissance aircraft in history, served as a major inspiration for the Dark Star's idea and design. The SR-71, created by Lockheed Martin in the 1960s, was designed to function at high altitudes and speeds. It could fly at Mach 3 or higher while avoiding enemy missiles and radar detection. For its time, its distinctive shape-long fuselage lines and sharply pointed wings was revolutionary because it allowed it to be stable and under control at high speeds. The Blackbird's significance in intelligence collection and strategic deterrence was highlighted by its operational success during the Cold War. Filmmakers used this rich history as inspiration for the Dark Star, adding aspects that appeal to both military strategists and aviation fans. In addition to honoring its ancestor, the Dark Star carries on its tradition into a futuristic scenario in which hypersonic capabilities reinterpret combat and aerial reconnaissance duties. Number 5. Hypersonic capabilities. The Dark Star is portrayed in Top Gun Maverick as having the ability to reach Mach 10,7,672 miles per hour, which places it in the exclusive class of hypersonic flight, which is defined as traveling faster than Mach 5. Currently, one of the most important areas of aerospace engineering is the search for hypersonic technology. Overcoming significant obstacles in the areas of propulsion systems, thermal control, and aerodynamics is necessary to reach such speeds. Advanced materials that can survive these conditions are crucial for successful flight because air resistance produces tremendous heat at hypersonic velocities that might jeopardize structural integrity. The focus of current research is on novel propulsion techniques like scramjets, supersonic combustion ramjets, which are made to function effectively at these high speeds without the drawbacks of conventional jet engines. In addition to captivating viewers, Top Gun Maverick's depiction of such remarkable skills mirrors actual scientific initiatives meant to transform air transport and military operations via hypersonic breakthroughs. Number 4. Lockheed Martin's development. Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works, a division renowned for its groundbreaking achievements in aerospace innovation, is developing the SR-72, a speculative hypersonic aircraft that is frequently mentioned with the Dark Star. In addition to using its speed for surveillance missions, the SR-72 is intended to be an uncrewed aircraft with the ability to hit valuable targets. For contemporary military operations, when quick intelligence collection can help with real-time tactical decision-making, this dual functionality is essential. Although precise information regarding its capabilities is either classified or conjectural, it is anticipated to make use of cutting-edge materials like titanium alloys and carbon composites that are intended to withstand the extremely high temperatures produced during hypersonic flight. New propulsion systems that can maintain control and efficiency at previously unheard-of speeds while incorporating stealth features to reduce detection risks are the subject of intensive research during the development phase. Future warfare scenarios will be reshaped by this ongoing effort, which is part of a larger trend towards autonomous systems that can function well in contested environments without endangering pilot lives. Number 3. Design features. To maximize performance at hypersonic speeds and maintain stability and control during flying maneuvers, the Dark Star's design elements have been carefully created. Its long, blended wing design reduces drag and improves lift characteristics, both of which are essential for effectively flying at high speeds. Better airflow management over the wings during high-speed operations is made possible by the cranked aero wings, which further improve aerodynamic efficiency. An operational version of such an aircraft would probably be uncrewed in practice, therefore conventional cockpit structures would not be required. However, the use of cockpit windows in Top Gun Maverick was done for literary reasons in order to give spectators a relatable pilot experience and heighten the dramatic tension during flying scenes. This artistic choice demonstrates how filmmakers strike a balance between narrative requirements and technical correctness, enabling viewers to empathize with people and igniting interest in the concepts of aerospace engineering. Number 2. Military applications. Hypersonic technology has far-reaching and revolutionary consequences for military applications, radically changing how countries approach battle and reconnaissance tactics. Unmatched speed advantages provided by hypersonic vehicles allow for quick data collection over large areas without being picked up by adversary radar systems or intercepted by conventional defenses. For military commanders, this feature greatly improves situational awareness and enables better decision-making during crucial operations. Furthermore, pinpoint strikes against valuable targets with little warning time for adversaries could be made possible by hypersonic weapons, which would complicate defense plans around the world. The competition for technological supremacy heats up as countries make significant investments in creating their own hypersonic capabilities, frequently citing national security concerns. In addition to influencing military policy, this arms race has wider geopolitical repercussions as nations vie for supremacy in this new field, which could change the balance of power in the world. Number 1. Increased global interest. The depiction of the Dark Star has sparked a great deal of public interest in hypersonic technology since Top Gun: Maverick, leading to debates among defense analysts, decision-makers, and foreign observers over its effects on the dynamics of international security. Global awareness of aerospace technology breakthroughs and their possible effects on military capabilities has increased as a result of the movie's portrayal. There are significant ramifications for military strategy and international security as countries compete to create their own hypersonic systems. Thanks for watching our video, and don't forget to subscribe. The pilots who defeated a hijacker FedEx Flight 705. FedEx Flight 705 was the target of a spectacular hijacking attempt on April 7, 1994, which put the flight crew's bravery and resolve to the test. When a disgruntled employee named Auburn R. Calloway hijacked the ship, the crew violently retaliated, and the situation swiftly turned into a life-or-death conflict. In addition to ensuring the aircraft's safety, their outstanding deeds demonstrated the tremendous bravery and professionalism of pilots in emergency situations. This incident is still a potent illustration of aviation heroism. Number 7. Incident Overview. An important case study in aviation safety and crisis management was the spectacular hijacking of a McDonnell Douglas DC-1030 freighter FedEx Flight 705 on April 7, 1994. 3 crew members, including Captain David G. Sanders, First Officer James M. Tucker, Jr., and trip engineer Andrew H. Peterson, were to travel with the cargo on the trip from Memphis International Airport to San Jose International Airport. The FedEx flight engineer, Auburn R. Calloway, who was traveling as a deadhead passenger, was one of the passengers. The hijacking occurred during the plane's climb, just after takeoff, when Calloway began his murderous scheme. The crew's training and resolve were put to the test during this incident, which also exposed flaws in the aviation security procedures in place at the time. Because of the event's dramatic quality, it attracted public attention and increased awareness of possible threats that could originate in the cockpit, which sparked conversations about strengthening security protocols for both crew and passengers. Number 6. Hijacker's intent. Deeply ingrained psychological crisis and financial desperation were Auburn R. Calloway's driving forces behind the hijacking of Flight 705, which speaks to larger concerns about mental health and employee support in high-stress industries like aviation. He came up with a frightening plan to kill the crew and crash the plane, making it look like an accident because he was facing job instability as a result of performance problems and growing debt. His goal was to get his family a $2.5 million life insurance payout because he thought it would give them financial security after his death. Calloway demonstrated a premeditated wish to commit murder rather than merely hijack the flight for ransom or other reasons by carefully planning his activities and arriving at the airport with weapons hidden in a guitar case, more precisely, a spear gun and hammers. In addition to highlighting his personal struggles, this dark scheme sparked conversations about how airlines could better recognize and support workers experiencing psychological discomfort and sparked concerns about employee mental health and support networks in high-stress industries like aviation. Number 5. Attack on crew. As Flight 705 soared through 19,000 feet about 26 minutes after takeoff, Calloway began his vicious assault on the flight crew with ruthless rage. He pounded hammers into Captain David G. Sanders, First Officer James M. Tucker, Jr., and Flight Engineer Andrew H. Peterson, causing serious and maybe lethal injuries. The attack was frantic and horrifying. Tucker suffered several fractures to his skull from the strong blows that left him confused and in terrible pain, while Captain Sanders suffered major cuts to his head and lost a portion of his ear in the conflict. As he tried to protect himself from Calloway's constant attacks, Peterson also suffered terrible injuries, such as a broken skull and a severed artery, which caused him to bleed heavily. It is imperative that prompt action be taken to restore control of the aircraft before it is transformed into a lethal weapon, as the attack was so heinous that it not only endangered the lives of the crew, but also the safety of everyone on board Number 4. Crew's response. The crew of Flight 705, in spite of their severe injuries and the turmoil surrounding them, showed incredible bravery and tenacity by fighting back against their attacker. To stop Calloway from seizing control of the cockpit, First Officer Tucker acted decisively by performing forceful movements that confused him. Extreme climbs and descents, as well as fast turns that featured inverted flying maneuvers, were all things he did while coping with a great degree of physical discomfort from his injuries. This was an important tactical reaction that kept Calloway off balance, as Tucker handled the aircraft aggressively to try to catch him off guard. He found it difficult to hold his footing or restore control. While attempting to stabilize himself physically in a seriously compromised position, Captain Sanders coordinated their responses and maintained excellent communication with Tucker and Peterson in spite of his injuries, exhibiting exceptional leadership in the face of difficulty. Their combined actions demonstrated strong crisis management teamwork. They capitalized on each other's skills and abilities to successfully handle this potentially fatal circumstance. Number 3. Emergency landing. It took extraordinary concentration under pressure for the crew to keep Flight 705 under control and get ready for an emergency landing back at Memphis International Airport, despite their injuries and the fierce battle with Calloway. A major reason that hindered their landing approach was the fuel load, which caused the DC-10 to be well above its allowable landing weight. Other difficulties included a longer stopping distance once on the ground. Nevertheless, they managed to steer the plane back toward Memphis while informing air traffic control of critical information about their predicament by cooperation and sheer willpower. Despite their physical limits from the injuries they incurred during the attack, they performed emergency procedures with precision, lowering landing gear while carefully controlling speed and altitude. They concentrated on stabilizing the airplane for landing as they swooped toward Memphis finally. Landing safely and without any more incidents demonstrated their unyielding will to live in the face of tremendous odds and was a credit to their piloting prowess. Number 2. Legal consequences. Following Flight 705's successful landing, Auburn R. Calloway was captured by police at Memphis International Airport shortly after the plane touched down. Officers swiftly arrived to secure the area around the plane, and he was taken into prison without any additional incidents. The seriousness of his offenses against other crew members and the wider ramifications for aviation security procedures in general were reflected in the significant accusations he faced for his violent acts during the flight, which included attempted murder and air piracy. Aviation industry professionals and the general public closely followed the ensuing legal proceedings, which demonstrated how seriously authorities take human threats in commercial aviation environments and how such incidents can affect future airline operations regulations. Following his conviction on several charges pertaining to his assault on the crew, including attempted murder, Calloway was given 2 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of release in 1996. This ruling represented both justice for his victims and a legislative commitment to ensuring aviation safety. Number 1. Legacy of heroism. The FedEx Flight 705 event has come to symbolize aviation heroism. It demonstrates how common people can rise to great obstacles in life-threatening situations by displaying courage under fire when confronted with unthinkable difficulty during crises such as this one. Captain Sanders, First Officer Tucker, and Flight Engineer Peterson's extraordinary bravery not only saved their lives, but also made sure that no other passengers were hurt during this terrifying ordeal. This fact has struck a deep chord in aviation circles and with audiences around the world who have learned about their story over time through a variety of media outlets, including documentaries that highlight brave acts under pressure, like those that were witnessed firsthand by those directly involved during those terrifying moments aboard FedEx Flight 705 itself. Numerous aviation organizations have commended them for their bravery in the face of Fire ALPA Airline Pilots Association, and other aviation safety groups awarded them medals for their bravery, highlighting the importance of preparedness training in addressing potential threats, such as those posed by hijackers attempting similar attacks against commercial flights today. This serves as an inspiring reminder of the importance placed on training programs specifically designed to improve overall safety protocols used throughout airline industry operations going forward. The hijacking of FedEx Flight 705 remains a powerful testament to the courage and resilience of its crew in the face of extreme danger. Thanks for watching our video, and don't forget to subscribe.